On the 10th anniversary of 9/11, the Navy League of the United States Santa Barbara Council invited their newly adopted unit, the 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines from Camp Pendleton, to send 100 Marines and family members to come to Santa Barbara for a 4-day welcome home weekend. Along with other partnering nonprofits, local businesses, and dozens of Navy League members, they were greeted and hosted as the heroes they proved to be during their very challenging, victorious 7-month deployment in the Sanjan region of Afghanistan. Channel Cat Charters represents the finest Santa Barbara has to offer when it comes to offshore reception venues, visitors and locals alike. On their first evening at Santa Barbara, the Marines and the family members of the United States Marine Corps 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines Dark Horse were welcomed aboard the Channel Cat by Rachel and Captain King Williams for a Santa Barbara Navy League reception for a magnificent sunset sail along the Santa Barbara beautiful coastline. It was an evening the Marine families and Captain Circle members of the Santa Barbara Navy League will always cherish. Sit back, watch, listen, and enjoy learning what it means to be a Marine and a Marine's wife from men and women living it, and enjoy the very special hospitality of a very special city.
So cute, so handsome.
We're from Fort Collins area.
Nice to meet you. My sister-in-law has Afghanistan. 10,000-foot level of we've been going.
Oh, wow.
So here from Boise, Idaho, and out on the beautiful Channel Cat, thanks to Charlie Munger and the captain. This is a wonderful opportunity, I think, for us to be able to show a little bit of Santa Barbara hospitality to our nation's finest men and women wearing the uniform of our country, but also to show the people in Santa Barbara just exactly what it means to be somebody that serves your country. These men and women are what we call our nation's finest, and I'm here very, very pleased that you're here with us.
I'm pleased to be here, thank you.
And why don't you give us your name and where you're from and why you like being a Marine?
I'm from Boise, Idaho. Alan speaks. I love being a Marine for many reasons. Maybe it's the discipline, the organization as a whole just makes it worthwhile.
You know, I was an Army guy and my son's a Ranger, and we often hear that people say they actually enjoy serving our country and wearing a uniform and being in harm's way. Is being a Marine something that you thought long and hard about, or was being a Marine something that you always wanted to do?
I kind of thought hard and long about it. Once I found out about it, I pretty much joined right away, but I had a big gap between time, and then once I figured out what it was about, I was doing it.
God bless you for what you do, and thank you very much for being here with us. Thank you. You get to see that.
So what year is this year, guys?
7.
Not 20. 12 more to go.
We're out here on the Channel Cat, and we want to say thank you very much to the people that allow us to come out here and show our Marines and their families a great time. The reason that we do this TV show is really to help educate the nation and our nation's leaders about what the needs of our service members are and why they do what they do, and because I want them to actually give you guys jobs if you decide to get out and come back here. And not many of us actually that belong to the Navy League have ever served, maybe about 10% of us. But we don't actually allow anybody in the military to join the Navy League, because the Navy League is about service to those who are in service for our country, not about veterans affairs. There's a lot of good veterans organizations, but we are about making sure that the provisions that our men and women need that are deployed in harm's way, that they get those, and that the people that are back here working, paying taxes, we want them supporting them. And once they learn who you guys are and why you're doing what you're doing, you know what? There isn't a red-blooded American person out there that can't support you. So I'm going to ask these gentlemen to tell us who they are, where they're from, and what they think about being a Marine, and what it has meant to them. I mean, these guys are not what you'd call old. They're young guys, but they've seen a lot of service, and they've seen a lot of battle, and they know what it means to serve and support our nation. So let's just take a minute to hear from them. So the camera is on you, and it's now just who you are, where you're from, and what you like about the Marines or don't like about the Marines.
My name is Sergeant Joshua Soto. I'm with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. I'm an infantry rifleman. And I can say the reason why I do what I do is so my kids will never have to see the stuff I have to see. So they can grow up in a world where they don't have to worry about going on their front porch and seeing dead people out front. And they could go outside and play and not have to worry about any of that. So I do it to protect my family.
You know, when you talk about your family, I guess it's a big community that we live here in the United States, and taking care of things offshore so that we can take care of things onshore. Can you talk a little bit about what you do when you go offshore?
When I go over into other countries, my main priority is to help out those people, because I know that they've been oppressed on by somebody else and by somebody with certain, as I can say, certain thoughts that are a little radical to what we think today. And it makes me feel good to know that I go over to other countries and help them out, put them on the right path, and bring them out of that poverty, bring them out of that fear, and help their kids grow up in a safer place like what my kids will.
That's key. You know, when we think about the United States compared to the other places that you get to go and visit, and where did you say you were from?
I'm from Roseville, California.
Okay, so another California guy. Good. Okay. When you think about life here in the United States versus what you see when you're overseas, and you go to those places, do you think they'll ever see what you saw when you were growing up?
No, because we live in a great country, and I guarantee as long as there's people that want to join, my kids will never have to see what I've had to see.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate it. God bless you. Thank you.
What happens when you're just hanging out on your surfboard, all of a sudden, what happened? Half the tarvis in his mouth. What then? Huh? You're going to punch him in the nose, but you're still going to be missing half your body.
It's okay.
How are you feeling in that?
I actually feel fine. I don't mind it.
They look cute. He had his pants ripped.
I heard about that, yeah.
He's staying at my house, so I believe that happened. I can vouch for it.
I'm Bro Shack. Hello. How you doing?
Are these your friends?
Restricted. They are. Friends. Yes. We're friends. Giant bunch.
Okay, tell me your name.
This is Bro Shack.
What?
James.
James.
I'm going to say James, okay. Brenda's my name, okay.
Michael Brown.
Hey, Michael Brown. My name is still Brenda.
I know you're
Lex.
Lex, L-E-X?
Yes.
Hey, my name's Brenda. They're staying, okay. Well, they're staying at my house. I'm so excited that they're staying at my house.
Okay. My name is Sergeant Edward Flack. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. And what I like about the Marine Corps is that I've gotten to do everything that I've ever dreamed about doing as a little kid. You know, as a little kid, I played with fireworks all the time, blowing frogs up, blowing lizards up, you know, stuff that every little kid's has done. And, you know, my job in the Marine Corps in the infantry is demolition. So I've got to do everything that I've ever dreamed about, and that's what I love about it. And not only that, the camaraderie, like meeting people from California and, you know, people from all over the United States who I never would have dreamed to meet in my life, and they're some of my closest friends ever. So it's just great to be a part of the brotherhood.
You know, I don't think that many people understand what brotherhood means. I guess, you know, it's biblically it talks about one man being like iron on another man. As we look back over history, we see what warriors do and what they have to do and what they go through together. When you talk about brotherhood, talk to us, if you will, a little bit about what the definition of that is that we don't have as civilians.
Well, to me, being a part of the brotherhood is no matter what the situation is, you'll always look out for each other, no matter what. If I was back in Florida and I had something wrong, one of my brothers would drive from California to Florida to help me out no matter what the problem was. And the same thing goes in combat. No matter what, we always have each other's back. You never have to turn around. All you do is look forward and continue the mission. And it's just having that feeling that you know nothing's ever going to happen because you're always in good hands is one of the greatest satisfactions ever. So that's what brotherhood is to me.
You know, we hear about fraternities and the idea of brotherhood in that context, and certainly this is a different context that we're talking about when we talk about going into battle. And can you tell us a little bit about what you've done recently, where you were, and what happened while you were there?
Well, we recently just returned from staying in Afghanistan, and over there it was the British had it for a few years. They decided that they couldn't take it. I don't know what the whole deal was with them. And so the United States took it over, and they decided to put the Marines there because, you know, we're the best. So, but no, we took it over. It was really IED littered. No, the British couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't make it 100 yards outside their PB. And then we showed up, and we were like, you know what? We're going to go further than anybody has ever gone before. We'll take our casualties, but we're going to keep fighting the Taliban. We're going to keep bringing them the fight, and we're going to kill them before they kill us. So after a few months of us getting pretty badly injured, we were able to move around so much that we could actually help the people out in the city. We started to build schools for their kids to go to. We made it safe for them to go to the market and buy food, and that the Taliban weren't gonna tax them for it. We started building their mosques or fixing ones that were bombed and blown up. We paved a couple good roads for them, and to really see the level of life there prosper from absolutely nothing to having the bare essentials that we think of, and that's, you know, the top of the top of the world for them. I mean, it just made you feel like you have made a difference in the world, and it was great to see that towards the end of the deployment. See how the people of staying in Afghanistan went from not believing in us whatsoever to never wanting us to leave because we helped them out so much.
So the 3-5, I encourage everyone to go online and look at the history of the 3-5. You know, the topics that we're talking about here are real. Men and women, children, unable to live their lives because they're under a theocratic, government that dictates who they are, what they do, where they go, no peace. And the United States is a force for good in the world. When we hear stories like we've just heard from you about going in and actually coming away from a 7-month deployment that had what you would call probably an unprecedented cost to it. I don't use the word suffer when I think about Marines because I know that that's what Marines are born, bred, and built to do. When we think about what it means to do this in places and change lives, I think that we have a greater appreciation for what these men do when they're deployed and why they do it when they're deployed. So, last question for you. What'd you do when you came home, and what's it like to be back?
Well, the first thing I did when I came home was greet my wife and my daughter, who I love more than anything in this world. And no matter what happened after that, that was the only thing I wanted to do was see my wife and daughter again. But being home is, we're in America. Who doesn't want to come back here? This is the greatest place to ever be. So being home is it's the greatest feeling in the world. So.
Well, I want you to know that we're here to support you. The Santa Barbara Navy League has adopted the 3-5 and what that means to the men and women and the children and all the families that belong to the largest Navy League in the world. Well, it's the largest Navy League in the world without a deep water port. What that means to us is great communications with you guys and gals and the opportunity to be able to be here with you for 3 days. Get ready, Santa Barbara, because we've got a whole bunch of events coming, and you're going to see a lot of what we think is the epitome of the finest fighting men in the world, the 3-5. Get some.
Well, we appreciate everything. This is awesome. It's so beautiful out here.
That's why we hope that you appreciate being adopted by Santa Barbara, and we hope you all come back. And the Navy League is not about politics. We are not funded by any government agency. It's all donations. It's the people, the civilians that you see, the people wearing suits around here, are the people that allow us to do what we're doing. We're here on the Channel Cat sailing. We just went by Ty Warner's Biltmore and Coral Casino, where we're going to be tomorrow night. We're going to do the gala at the Biltmore, the Four Seasons Coral Casino, which is without a doubt the most beautiful location on the coast anywhere in the world that I've ever seen. And you'll see the ballroom there, but tomorrow evening we'll be toasting you and honoring you all for what you do. And we're going to have all of Santa Barbara's finest here to do that. So, and that's not all we're doing. We've also got a baseball game. We got the fire department, the police department, and the Marines from the 3-5 going to play some ball in a place called Pershing Park. And General Pershing was what? He was Army guy, wasn't he? I've never heard of him. Well, that's a generational thing. Okay, we'll talk some World War II history. I don't know if you all have ever heard of the Rose Parade. Well, the predecessor to the Rose Parade was called the Flower Parade, and it started when here in Santa Barbara in 1897, and in 1908, President Teddy Roosevelt sent his Great White Fleet around the world because he didn't believe that a nation that didn't have a strong armed forces and naval presence, sea-based presence, which was, by the way, the beginning of the Marine Corps, too. We can talk about that. But the idea that we were trading across the countries, across the waters, that shipping was taking place, that pirates were doing bad things, that other countries were sinking our ships, he realized that we could never be a superpower if we didn't protect all of our commerce. And today, over 90% of the things that we buy and sell here in the United States travel by sea. And so why do we need Navy? Why do we need an expeditionary force? Why do we need a military? It's to protect our commerce and our way of lives. And the idea that in 1908, 14 ships sailed into this harbor, and 1,400 sailors got off and marched in a parade that was called the Flower Parade, which then became the Rose Parade, and they moved it to Pasadena. So there's some history here that goes back with the presidents and the military, and we're just really pleased to be able to open up the city and give you guys a first-hand experience and an assessment on how much we value what you do for us here. So to all of you in uniform and to all of the families.
They have a camaraderie over there, whereas wives that are, like I was here, I got in California in June. He left in, when did you leave? September. So I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anybody. So it's hard to transition from when you're, especially with me, from when you're with the East Coast, and you come all the way out to the West Coast, you don't have family, you don't have friends, and then he's gone. Whereas they see it as they have camaraderie, they're with guys that know what they're going through, they have guys that they can talk to and that can relate. I didn't have anybody. So that's one thing. And then two, I've been with him since the day he stepped on the yellow footprints at Parris Island. Here we are almost 9 years later, and it grows. And you make a lot of friends, and that's what I like the most about it, is you make a lot of friends that no matter where you go, you're still going to be friends. You're still going to have that one thing in common, and you're still going to have, the wives have a camaraderie.
So families, when we think about families in the military and we think about deployments and, 6-7 months deployment in what you would call really hostile territory. You have a daughter, and you've moved clear across the country, and you've got infrastructure within the Marine Corps, which I think is, pretty strong, but you don't have those emotional ties and bonds. I get where you're at. And
it's like the guys can go out in uniform as many times as they want, and people automatically know, oh, they're in the Marines, let's treat them like gold. Whereas two wives can go out for a night on the town, and we're in civilian clothes. They have no idea what we're going through. They don't know that we go to bed at night wondering if our husbands are going to come home. So it's hard. And having kids and explaining to younger ones what their daddies are doing, and like my daughter's 7 years old. She's at the point now where she understands that daddy's gone. He's not going to be back. She understands that other daddies are being hurt and don't come home. And it's hard to explain to her. I've never told her that he was absolutely 100% going to come home. I've never told her that. She knows that there's always that possibility, and that's the number one fear that I'm sure a lot of wives with kids have. How do you do that? And I've had a friend that her husband was killed in action, and it's hard. How do you tell your 7-year-old that daddy's not coming home? That's the toughest part. And that's what they don't see. Like when I tell him that, when he calls, he's like, oh, I'm coming home, I'm fine. They're not invincible, but they think they are. They're not.
Yeah, I think the reality of being back in the States when you've got loved ones that are deployed is the hardest thing I've ever gone through in my life, having a son deployed. I can't fathom what it would be to have a young child and a wife back there, other than the fact that I can't believe that they could be out there doing what they're doing without knowing that you're okay back here. So what makes you so strong that gives them the confidence to know that they can do the job that they've signed up to do and still know that you're home safe?
My daughter gives me the confidence. If I break down, she breaks down and things don't work. So I just stay strong for her, and honestly, I have faith in God that he's going to keep him safe and he's going to bring him home, and if it's in his plan, he'll come home. If it's not, he won't, and we'll go from there. So do me a favor. When he gets deployed the next time, I want to be hearing from you because I want to be a prayer warrior for you. Okay. Hopefully he won't be deployed again, but I'll let you know. Okay, well, I don't know. There's something in my mindset that just makes me think that if you're a Marine, the probability is that you're going to be deployed. It's wishful thinking. I think Santa Barbara's going to see a wonderful weekend here, and anything else that you guys can say about what you're looking forward to here collectively as husband and wife standing on the rail out in front of, where are we? We're out in front of the Fest Parker Davy Crockett's Doubletree Hotel here. And Thank you to everybody that had a part in this. It's great.
I mean, this is awesome. I never thought I would ever come to Santa Barbara, and I don't ever want to leave. So thank you to everybody. Okay, well, we'll make you a honorary citizen before the weekend is over. All right, so let's move on to other events and talking to some other Marines. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you. Both of you. We're very, very pleased to be here now. I'm going to ask you to give us your name and where you're from and what your experience has been with the 3-5 and the guys that are here.
Sergeant Ryan Lentz. I'm originally from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. I've only been with 3-5 for about 2 years now. I got with them prior to deployment. I love my job. I know, like Sergeant Flack said earlier, who else gets to go to work and blow stuff up for a living? I mean, you don't get to do it every day, but when you do, it's pretty much the best day you can have. So,
and we want to thank you for your service and your time, and we hope you have an awesome time while you're here.
So far, I'm having an outstanding time.
Great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless. Thank you.
Tom Cruise, okay?
All night.
So, besides, I'm still having fun, so I'm down with that. But no, this is really awesome. Really awesome. I really appreciate the group for doing this. They've really outdone themselves for putting this on for us. This is really awesome. It's probably one of the best events I've been to that a civilian group has put on for us that serve our country. So, if there's Marines that get to do this, or anybody in the armed services that get to do this in the future, I encourage them to take advantage of this. Don't blow them off like, oh, this is just something that this is the community giving back to what we do. So I really appreciate that they take the time out of their lives to do this, and I'm more than happy to take the time out of my life to come up here and show my appreciation for what they do.
1902, the dawn of a new century. With the support of President Theodore Roosevelt, the Navy League of the United States is formed to provide a powerful voice for strong sea services, which are vital to the nation's liberty and prosperity. Whether at home or abroad, the Navy League provides support to our men and women of the sea services around the world. With the help of individual and corporate members, the sea services become integrated into the local communities they serve and protect. In addition to providing support today to the men and women serving at home and abroad, the Navy League always looks to the future, to today's young people and tomorrow's leaders. The need for a strong, vital sea service, recognized by Theodore Roosevelt in 1902, is no less today. The challenges facing our nation have never been greater. More than 100 years later, the Navy League continues to answer the call. Your support makes a difference to our men and women of the sea services who serve today and will serve tomorrow in support of American sea power. As one Secretary of the Navy said, the sun never sets on the Navy League.